Hi, welcome to Doll Dignity of Labor KTC series Know the Course. And today we have Subramaniam with us, a metallurgy graduate from NIT Trichy. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. I'm glad to be here. So, yeah, welcome everyone. I'm Subramanian, currently doing my master's in materials engineering in IISc Bangalore. So, as
Mhm.
he said, I did my undergraduation from NIT Trichy in metallurgical and materials engineering. So, I'm happy and glad to be here to share
Yeah,
my views and yeah.
yeah. Thanks a lot for accepting our request. So, just a quick start. Can you briefly explain about what metallurgy and materials engineering for a stranger and what are the real life applications for the same?
Okay. Yeah. So, majorly metallurgical and materials engineering. So the word metallurgy in that it actually means how do we get the day-to-day useful products from the minerals or naturally available things that is available on earth. So let's say
Hmm.
be it the vessels you use in kitchen or be it any maybe the vessel can be a very good example or any other metals or tables, be it bed, cards, everything that you see in real life takes that form from a very basic raw material that is available in earth. So metallurgy, one aspect of metallurgy deals with the extraction of how it comes away from that form to the useful form. And other things, there are actually, I say there are so many aspects to metallurgy. One of this is how it is extracted from the raw materials. Other aspects deal with how do we tune the properties. So let's say it can be the analogy can be made to preparing a dish or something. So when you
Okay.
prepare a dish, you add a lot of ingredients to that. So each
Yes.
ingredient has its own meaning. So for example, if you prepare some dish, each small dish, a small ingredient have its own meaning, or it will add a unique flavor or taste to the final end product.
Correct.
So in the way, there are a lot of things that go in background until we see the final product. So one aspect is extraction, another aspect is studying the properties, how you can tune the way in which you prepare so that you'll get your final end result. So that is mostly deal with metallurgy. So that's the name suggests, it deals with mostly metals part of the system. And
Hmm.
material science is a more generic class of things where you go beyond metals. So you'll go for other type of materials. You see rubber in real life, that is not a metal, but that still has a lot of application. So there are other form of material, ceramics, or you see many porcelain mugs or ceramic glasses you might have seen. So those other type of materials and how their properties from very levels. As I said, there are many aspects and many levels in which these are studied, from electrons or to the macroscopic or bulk things which you see. So there are various levels and aspects, but I think this gives a overall picture of how the what is generally dealt in the subject.
Yeah, that's nice intro, and the way that you explain with the dish, which is very popular for everyone in a day in day out, that's really helped us. So, like as per you, what were those prerequisites that one should have? Like, if at all someone is in 10th or 12th grade, and I'm going to do my engineering, so on what basis should I select or deselect or deprioritize metallurgical engineering as one of my option? Like, are there anything that I should be really aware of that if I'm really good with this, or if I already have this skill? It would be easy for me to choose metallurgical engineering. Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding that, I wouldn't say there is a prerequisite or skills required for that. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying from my experience, I was not aware of these things when I joined metallurgical engineering. So I
Mm-hmm.
was just aware that it might be a subdomain of mechanical. So honestly, I
Okay.
want to join mechanical. My rank
Mm-hmm.
didn't get me a mechanical seat, but somewhere I heard, okay, this is a subdomain of mechanical. So, but that was totally wrong. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that at that point of time. So I would
Okay.
say there are prerequisites for that. Personally, because in 11th and 12th, you will be just exposed to the concepts or something. You didn't have that much connection and in-depth understanding. So
Correct.
that is in any program of engineering, I think the things which you need to know for that particular domain is normally fed to you in your first and second years. So that will
Mm-hmm.
normally suffice you to get going in that particular group. So one thing to ensure will be your interest, whether hearing these words somewhat drives your curiosity. That's what I think it's more important because you are going to travel it for the rest of 4 years or something once you choose the departments. So whether you are able to connect that instead of, I would say, you anyways in any branch of you won't understand the terms at this point of time.
Correct.
But anyways, did that make you excited, or are you able to imagine you doing that work at a later point of let's say 5 years down the line? Whether you can imagine yourself being at the industry or monitoring these.
Mm-hmm.
So that evaluation of interest within yourself can help in choosing that. as you have some nowadays there are a lot of resources to know about this department, so you can even
Yes.
go through websites and see what are the curriculum of them. So while looking at the curriculum, you need not check whether you know those terms, but it's just to have an overview to get a big picture. Okay, whether that big picture is aligns with my interest or not, whether I'll be able to do that. So it majorly boils into some basics of chemistry. But I would say metallurgy and material science in general an interdisciplinary program. So you would see a lot of physics professors are being people from different areas work together. Physics, chemistry, even some mathematicians and maths people work here. So it's a kind of an interdisciplinary program. Unless other programs, there are people from various domains work together. So there are a lot of different domains also, different aspects. As I said, it's a very generic term. So I think so. To sum up, to evaluation of your interest, that will be more than sufficient than to see any skills or prerequisites.
Okay. And in your answer, you just mentioned that, it's not a sub branch of mechanical. Is it a myth or is it a reality?
So it is not only the sub branch of
It's a
mechanical.
mechanical. Okay.
So there are some mechanical, there's something called as even mechanical metallurgy within that. So
Okay.
there are different aspects: physical metallurgy, extractive metallurgy, mechanical metallurgy. So that deals with that aspect, but that is not the only way to understand that. So there is
Okay.
something more than mechanical metallurgy. So
Agree.
for me personally, more than mechanical, there are other parts of it which actually got my interest than
Okay.
mechanical metallurgy. So that is not a right way to understand, I would say. I would not say it is the wrong understanding, but still
Yeah.
it's that
It's not the only
restricts
understanding. Yeah.
it
It's
restricts the
not.
view of the subject. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And you said, as per, we need to understand the curriculum. So in your 4 years of metallurgical engineering, you will have a lot of subjects, right? So
Yeah.
how do you bucket them, and, how much amount of laboratory or practical courses you will have, and how much amount of theory courses you will have in your 4 years?
Okay. So generally, first year will be common to all engineering branches. As I study maths, physics, very basic. It will be almost common to every branches. And from second year, you will be actually entering into the core subjects. So from second year, the third semester, you will be starting to have a core metallurgical kind of subjects. So actually, the kind of lab and theory depends on college, I would say. But NIT Trichy generally in a semester has 1 or 2 labs. Mostly till third year, you will have 2 labs per semester. So you will exposed at various stages. It will be from the starting to they'll be going on to supplement what you learn in theory, some basic techniques. So usually it will be you can expect 1 or 2 courses per semester in an average on any college, and then theory courses. Yeah, from third semester, you will be having an proper metallurgical courses from the very basics to the uh, yeah.
Okay. So, what are the three main buckets of subjects you can categorize in metallurgy and material science engineering across 4 years, like if you have to do so?
Yeah, so in a very broad manner, we can classify, as I said, physical metallurgy, extractive metallurgy, mechanical metallurgy. These are some of the three aspects that can be broadly classified within metallurgy. And as I also said, there is also material science aspect. So personally, in analytical, the more focus is towards metallurgical aspect. Material science aspect is also there, but there is around maybe a 30% or something. When I studied, things might have
Yeah,
changed now.
yeah, agreed.
So this is the major three. So all the courses you would study will be one or the other way linked to any of these three branches.
Okay,
Physical, extract, as I said, extracted deals with how do you extract from raw materials.
agree.
Mechanical deals with mechanical aspect, the strength or the mechanical properties which you say for a material. Physical metallurgy starts with some inner scales or how do your microstructure looks, or how do you, there are some other aspects, maybe there will be more technical to be right now, but still
Yeah.
that is some other aspects are come under the domain of physical metallurgy. So these are the major three classification you would say under metallurgy.
So, as you say, like, we need to understand more of properties of metals, non-metals, and then, specific materials across different subjects. How do you, prepare yourselves to understand multiple things? Do you make a story out of each of the metal, or do you really remember everything from start to end? How does that go?
So in general, yeah, it's a better practice to make a story of things that will
Mm-hmm.
help in remembering it on the long term rather than
Mm-hmm.
only for a semester exam.
Yeah.
So that will help in that way. And yeah, so the aspect is some of it is it don't be like a memorizing. So because the one of the strong misconception is that in 12th, I think 11th or 12th, there will be a chapter called metallurgy in chemistry.
Yeah, yeah,
So
correct.
that will majorly deal with you memorizing things. So where you
Correct.
have to memorize each of the some
Properties
processes with
and yeah.
ah. So that is like, okay, so this branch will be like you have to memorize and just it will be you'll be as a fact what to say
Fact book.
fact
Fact book.
rather
Yeah, fact
than
table.
yeah
Yeah.
rather than understanding things, but there is more beyond that. So no one expects you to memorize everything. So it is more like how do you relate and understand the physics or understand how things work. That's what generally is.
Okay.
That's how things work. So when you make a story out of it, normally you will have a flow and understanding. So
Correct.
that will help you to achieve the long-term purpose as well as to understand the essence of the
The course. Yeah.
subject and rules. Yeah.
Agreed. So, according to you, what was the populous toughest subject in your 4 years of course, if at all you have
Okay.
some?
Popular subject
Yeah.
generally physical metallurgy, mechanical metallurgy, and also thermodynamics. So
Mhm.
these are generally considered three of the uh, maybe with respect to gate exam or something. These are considered as the
Mhm.
most important or high weighted subjects. So
Okay.
these will normally start entering to in your third semester. You'll have
Okay.
so-called the 4 credit course. Normally these courses come under the 4 credits.
Mhm.
So
The highest
that
credits will
is
have highest amount of efforts from your side.
efforts from your side, and also it has some importance. So whenever you go beyond second year or third year, in whatever course you study, there will be some basics which will be involving these uh, ideas from these subjects. So
Okay.
normally these will have 4 credits, and apart from that, other aspects is that manufacturing part, be it
Mhm.
welding, casting, some of the processes that also has some important weightage. But majorly physical, mechanical, metallurgy, and some thermodynamics aspects of material. So these uh, majorly play a role, or that will be the highly rated
Okay.
subject in your BTech.
So, which will give a greater amount of exposure that if you're not good at these, you might have to come and refer back for doing good in other
Yeah.
subjects.
So in
Okay.
majority of the domain, so areas you
Yeah.
deal with, which might in some or the other way requires you to know these ideas.
Okay, understood. So assume like not in every college will have equal number of faculty and all those resources,
Yeah.
right? So what are the other avenues that you will suggest any candidate to refer to such that they are up and running in all these courses?
Okay. So yeah, NPTEL is I would say it's a sufficient and very good way. So there, I mean, the faculties from all these renowned institutes, they are the ones who are teaching there. So there
Correct.
are n number of courses. Even if you take a particular title of the course, there will be so many options that you can see in NPTEL. So that will be more than sufficient. When I
Agreed.
prepared for it, I use the NPTEL platform. So
Agreed.
uh, that will be even if there is not much exposure to you in your particular college. NPTEL offers a very great platform, so you can watch it at your own pace, and there are a lot
Yeah.
of other resources as well. So that will be I think that will be sufficient, more than sufficient to uh, where you can find everything in one place. And other than that, also there are nowadays there are a lot of YouTube channels who
Yes.
actually focus from various parts of the world. So there are
Yeah.
many who focus on actually delivering the concept, not based on exam oriented or something. In general, there are a lot of and there are a lot of big names in each domain side. So there will be a lot of nowadays there are a lot of resources, even from company side or be it institution side, or be it a common tag of NPTEL where everyone contributes to resources. There are almost a lot of resources too that is sufficient for you from whatever place or whatever college you are from, that can make you come reach to that particular level of understanding, or that is normally required when you move out of your BTech.
Okay. So assume if some candidate reaches out to you who is a upcoming metallurgy engineering undergrad, so what would you suggest that the yearly milestone that they should have such that they'll have plenty of options to choose at end of this course?
Okay, so uh, I would say the first year it's normally an where you go and uh, experience a lot of things. So first year will normally be a less intense coursework. You have a lot of other subject as well. So focusing on that and focusing on other aspects. So the people will be coming from a tier 11th and 12th. So that will be a relaxation. You can relax yourself instead of being so much pressurized. Okay, what will I do after 4 years? So you can relax yourself, and then at the same time having an eye and grasping the basics. So generally the first year there'll be one of the course which will be an introduction to metallurgy. So that course will introduce you to how your next 3 years will be, what are the career options you might have after the course. That will be an introduction. So that will help you in so focusing on that will also help you in developing interest. Whether you which area would you like or first impression. So something like that that will help in that first part of the year. So first year majorly go and expressing yourself, trying out different things, as well as having an eye on these basics. Some physics and chemistry basics will also be handy going forward. So and then coming to second year. So from second year, it's better to start from the third semester where there are a lot of basic courses. Start from the day one. I would say instead of focusing on day before exams, which normally tend to happen in BTech days. So it's better to start from day one, because personally I didn't do that from day one. Normally we used to study that 2 or 3 days before the exams and then I do everything. But instead try to go beyond the exam point of view things, because you can even score a better grade in exam even without a very good understanding. So that is also there. So it's better to go from, as I said, making a story out of yourself, how it matters to you, or whether you really understand that. Being open-minded or something, that is also helpful. Not having some pre-ideas in mind. In general, that is a lot helpful than having, some old or bad ideas, some concept you would have studied wrongly in 11th and 12th. So in BTech is the time where you learn them correctly. So it's better to leave that aside and be a open-minded. When you go and learn anything, be a open-minded so that you can get everything instead of being evaluating, okay, whether the instructor is saying that correctly or wrongly. So in second year major, you have to focus on these basic courses and some other. And first year summer is also a good time to go and explore some online courses. There are a lot of online courses that you have regarding some other aspects. So even there are a lot of computational aspects in metallurgical and material science. Normally, a degree doesn't offer that much exposure to computational aspect or the coding related aspect, because metallurgy is not, in general, the existing courses won't have much emphasis on coding or computer science based language, but there are a lot of other areas which involves them. So that can be a very good time where you can explore these areas. So learning a programming language, that will obviously help going ahead. So that first year summer can be utilized in that aspect. And second year, there's a winter and second year summer. So second year winter break, normally I wouldn't have much idea, but some courses, or if you have some projects to work on in the
Or
same
implant
institutes you
trainings.
are in,
Yeah. Yeah.
some implant training, but normally it is not expected, because you will have only a small set of courses which you have already known. So it's better to go on that and deepen your understanding. Second year summer is where you can actually go on and, well, be it an industrial project or work in your own institution or some other. There are a lot of programs which offer your internships. Be
Correct.
it whether in India, in any of the institute, IITs and everything have a set of programs where they open the applications and you have to, and they get you for internship or some trainings. So,
True.
or you can, even your own colleges can be a good place to get to know the facilities in your college or work in something at second year summer. One should at least at the end of second year at least aim to have a hands-on experience, be it industrial or research or something. So you have studied something on paper for the year. So now
Yeah.
go on and try to, okay, how it works really. You won't produce a great result, but you will understand, okay, how things work or how is normally research done or how an industry works, because these aspects will help you in making a decision at the end of fourth year. So that second year will be a normally kind of exploring. So let's explore. If you want to, let's say industry is your calling, go and explore that. Or if you want to do a research, if you want to try out how research works, it's better to go and do that. And third year will normally be an peak year where you'll have a increased load from the course side, and you'll also have an increased pressure from maybe placement or internship. Normally, many colleges will have a third year internship as a mandatory internship
Man.
in degree requirements. So normally many focus will go on, okay, how to secure that internship or something. So in this part also, your second year work experience or the experience you had helps in securing your, be it an industry or research. So the normally the people who are recruiting you will understand, okay, this person has some idea. So when you let's say when you apply for internship or something, you will normally write a purpose, right? Statement of purpose, or you will have an interview or something where you have to explain yourself why do you like this. So this will give you an instant sense to prove your interest or something. So third year, yeah, the second year internship will normally help you to explore third year. So at third year, you'll have at least you'll have eliminated one choice. Let's say you
Yeah.
went to industry, they didn't like that, so that will make you cut an option. So generally, it's
Yeah.
people getting that, okay, when you don't like, it's like a waste of time. So I have seen many people who are saying, okay, I went to industry, I didn't like it, so I shouldn't have went to industry or something like that. But it is actually it's a good way to eliminate. So eliminating an
Yeah.
option is a way better than choosing an option. So you'll
Correct.
have one completely out of your picture.
Correct.
So now then you can go on for other, let's say research is not your calling, you can focus on, okay, industry is something, I'll get the industry exposure. Normally many institute have companies coming through their placement drives
Sell,
as a
yeah,
part of,
yeah,
and
correct.
take students for internships. So going for industry, if people want to go for an industry point of view, this normally helps in getting a pre-placement offer or something. That's a very
Yeah,
good way to get an opportunity. So that that will be a milestone that they can look for at the end of third year. And let's say research, they like research. At the end of third year, they should be having an idea, at least in terms of metallurgy, going for research or going for job or something, that they should have an idea so that fourth year can be aligned itself. So in fourth year, if you go for research, you can work on some examinations if you are in India or abroad. They have their own application requirements. So that fourth year will normally give you a time to work on this. So fourth year coursework will be a very less
project
intense.
work and all, yeah,
So there will be more of a less intense work. So that will give you more time to work on your own career path, be it
correct.
studying for placement, preparing for placements, or studying for some examinations. So fourth year will normally be that. So at the end of third year, if you explore sufficiently, you will be in a situation to choose a particular path, so that you'll have an year to actually work on securing that particular position. So
Agreed.
yeah, normally this would sum up. In
Yep.
whatever be the area, research or industry, it's better to have the basics right from the second year, so that you'll have wherever you go, it will always be helpful.
Okay. That's a good way to have the entire 4 years planned, and that should everyone execute that, so that they'll have brighter opportunities that is there. So like generally after every undergrad course, we'll have three popular choices that one would choose. Like as you already mentioned in between, like one is either you go for a job, either corporate or government, then you go for higher studies, whether MS or MTech or MBA, and then family business. Like someone who is coming graduating from a core branch like mechanical or metallurgy, starting a business soon after that related to that is very rare. So leaving that part aside, so in between job and higher studies, how did you choose, or did you eliminate one on basis of what decision?
Okay. So personally, as I said, I have chosen higher studies path as my career path.
Mhm. Yeah.
So one of the the way I chose is, from the start I didn't like basically the noisy environment in industry or the
Mhm.
laboratory job. So currently I'm working in computational aspects of material science. So
Yes.
from the start, the lab works didn't excite me that much.
Okay.
So that's why, that is one of the reason why I didn't, because there are also even computational parts of industry. But the one of the
Hmm.
major things is I was more into research. That is that can be rooted to from my school days, where
Okay.
I got motivated, okay, I want to become a scientist or something. That was the tagline I used to say and roam around when someone asked, what do you want to become? So that was the somewhat childhood calling. And other silly reason would be, I wanted to study in IITs or IISc. So my JE
Mhm.
rank didn't get me a seat there. So I wanted
Mhm.
to explore, okay, I want to see how that environment is, and I like the concepts in metallurgy and material science. So I thought, okay, let me have some more years spending in more deep
Studying.
learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I personally had those two major second and third year in COVID. So we missed a
Mhm.
lot of live laboratories.
Agreed.
So, and we actually attended the first direct lab in only in third year end. That's when I understood, okay, lab is not something of my kind. I didn't
Okay.
like some of the aspects to that. So that's also made me, okay, I need a much more understanding going further than to go to a job directly. So I think, okay, this will help me in getting those gaps. So second and third
Okay.
year are uh, major years where you learn many fundamental and basic concepts. So
Agreed.
I thought I missed a few of them. So I thought, okay, let me spend few more years in strengthening the basics. And my aim is also become a teacher or professor. So by
Mhm.
working in various clubs in college, I got that interest. So I think, okay, let me go as a try for pursuing towards that career path to become a professor. So that normally involves you pursuing a PhD. So that's what my calling was there. So initially, as I didn't like the job environment from the first, I didn't like that job kind of environment where you corporate environment. So that was from the first, I was sure that I was not going into that. And then with these interest in teaching and other things, I thought I will go for a tech now, strengthen my basic before I get into PhD, which is a very long commitment that you have to give. So
Correct.
it requires you to have a strong understanding. So let me thought before diving into PhD, because there are now direct PhD options available. So, but I thought before going into PhD, let me spend few more years in strengthening basics, then move to PhD. So that was my personal thing. So yeah, and normally one would can explore, as I said, the second year industry or researching will help them making a decision. Personally, I didn't have an industry experience because from the first I didn't like the industry environment. So I was so sure that I don't like to work in a corporate environment by things I see from my relatives, as in things I heard from people. And from the first, I was sure I was not into that. But people who are unsure of making decision, they can actually explore all this to make a decision instead of going by. Even I now think sometimes, okay, whether I should have tried industry back in second year. But I was somewhat very strong. But in many cases, people would have been confused whether to go the here and
Yeah,
there. Trying out will be a great option rather than hearing from other people.
correct.
So
That's nice.
yeah, I think pretty much that sums up.
That's nice. So, like, when did you start preparing for your higher education path? Like, during which year, and what was your plan of action? It is great that you all the time had your interest towards one side of the destiny, but when did you start preparing for GATE, and what was that one difference that you're looking from NITs and IIT or IISc? That what is that premium brand that you difference?
Okay. So first to answer, when did I start my preparation for higher studies? So as I said, from second year I had the idea I have to go for higher studies. So second year majorly I focus on studying the semester subjects. I have not studied anything specific to GATE syllabus or something, because GATE syllabus normally involves all second, third, and fourth year syllabus
Correct.
and some mathematics from first year. So second year I majorly focus on semester courses. And third year, because GATE also offers an attempt in third year. You can also attempt
Correct.
GATE in your when you are studying third year.
Third
So
year.
I
Yeah.
thought of having some, but third year coursework are generally intense. So I didn't get much time to go on some subjects in second year to revise or something. I didn't get much time. So it was mostly like, okay, whatever I'm studying in semester, I was trying to make that clear so that at least those set of questions I'll be able to answer in my
Answer.
GATE
Yeah.
attempt in
Get
third year. Third year
correct.
was major aim is to okay, get an idea of exam fee before I go into actual attempt of fourth year. So in third year, I was just below cutoff, some 2-3 marks less than the cutoff. So that gave me an expression, okay, where was the bridge in what I learned and what they have been asked. So in lot of areas, I thought that I knew that concept, but that question demanded a further level of understanding, which I did. So normally this third year attempt gave me a direction. So in third, when I was in third year, I was not having any direction when I started for GATE. I was just studying those concepts, but not having a particular direction. So after this third year attempt, I got a direction. Okay, these are some of the areas have major weightage. So where we actually miss the mark. So we should focus on that aspect and how much do you want to study? Because unless JEE, GATE is the syllabus is very wide. So you
Correct.
have a lot of topics and each have its own depth. So you should also be aware of till what depth you have to go. You also cannot go too much deep into a particular concept, and you can also not be very superficial. That will also make you lose marks. So that this attempt helped me in determining the depth in which I should go for the actual attempt. And yeah, that the entire year I did not sit for placements. So that's an option in strategy whether you're sitting for placements
Yes.
or not. I did not opt for that. So in fourth year completely, as the coursework was less intense, I was going through these GATE syllabus. I was going through NPTEL. NPTEL started a platform called GATE platform where they have different branches in them and various resources, being from concepts to previous year, which is a lot of resources. So that was a major resource I had during preparation.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and that went and I appeared in GATE 2023 and I got all the rank 3. And that helped me in getting a place in IISc. And coming to the
That's
second question, why do
yeah.
they want to study in IISc or IITs? So back then, my dream was that okay, there are the top NIRF ranking, so I want to study in the top NIRF ranking. And then, so NIR that normally suggests that they have a very good research and lab facilities. So I personally heard from friends who went for internship there, because I haven't went for a direct internship. It was only an virtual or online internship I had. So I heard from many friends, okay, how was the experience there? They were explaining about the labs there, the facilities there, the kind of courses they offer. Because the IITs and IIScs have a first year as coursework, the MTech coursework. So that was a entirely new compared to what we study in BTech. I mean, the way they take you through the courses is entirely different. So by hearing to those, that was the motivation. Okay, so that will studying these or going through these will help me getting a more better understanding. And obviously the facilities and labs are always better in those top ranked universities in the nation. So that was the major idea of okay, why did I want to go to IISc?
Correct. That's firstly, congratulations on your A3 and securing the seat at IISc, which is like very prestigious and known institute in India and across the world. That's great. So, like when you had this dream to becoming a professor, so it's a pretty long journey, right? Like after
Yeah,
BTech, you do MTech and then you do PhD. PhD is a course where you don't know how much duration it will take to. So,
yeah.
do you have any, any subjects that you have as your top priority that, I want to, dwell deep into these three subjects or three or four subjects, whichever you have in mind?
Okay, so in general, from metallurgy, so I like the physical metallurgy the most. So that deals with dealing with microstructure or dealing with how things are. As I said, the dish example I gave. So that is the proper thing where you actually study how you control ingredients to get the taste of the dish. So it is like that. How do you engineer each of the individual small things? So that will have like that the small things which you focus will have a large impact when you
Yeah,
see in
correct.
the. So that idea basically interested me, and
Mhm.
that made me okay. And as I said, I'm interested more toward computational aspects to that. So from school, I was a great fan of mathematics, so I like maths
Mhm.
the most. So these normally involves you mathematical modeling, or
Correct.
it'll actually in general everything has maths in it, but this will have more emphasis
Detailed.
towards
Yeah.
mathematical and computational aspects. So I was also a computer science student from 11th and 12th. I don't want to go into a CS or IT background just because I don't want to work on abstract problems, or in general I thought those as abstract problems. So but here I got interest because okay, at the end of the day it is being applicable somewhere physically, or it will have an end goal which is scientific or which is more of a physical sense. So so that is the major my personal research
Great.
interest, or the project which I am working currently. It is based on these aspects, computational aspects of understanding of materials at various length scales or various scales. So that was my major interest, and that's what I wish to pursue in coming years.
That's nice. Good that you're into the path that you really have dreamt through. That's great
Yeah.
because rarely we see candidates post undergrad, choosing their choice as per their initial thoughts of schooling or during pre-10 board. Yeah, that's great. So, like, one last thing would be like, how do you see the future market outlook for metallurgy engineers to be?
Okay. So as I said, metallurgy, actually, this metallurgy, there are many core, when you talk about metallurgy aspects, there are many core companies like Tata Steel, JSW, Reliance. They always have a position. Tata Steel works on steels. So they'll normally have a very great requirement of engineers to be there. And
Correct.
the steel or some areas is an industry which is not expected to go down in coming years.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it'll always have its own lifetime, or that always has its own scope. So that aspect is always will be there. The manufacturing or the industry aspects of metallurgy will always be there. There is always a requirement of metallurgical engineer there. And coming to material science aspect, there are a lot of industries which have even R&D roles in even every, let's say, manufacturing of a phone, be it companies which manufacture phone,
Yeah.
they typically can have a position which is material science, because
Correct.
they need to have at least some few people who have an understanding of material science. And apart from this, there are also some PSUs which look for be it bark, or even DRDO ISRO take some, makes you get in mechanical related papers, but still at
Mhm.
the end of the day they also in need of materials engineers when they go for the thing. So that's related to PSUs or something. And coming to industries, yeah, there are always companies which look for metallurgy and even material science. Even not much, but they're still growing. So you
Correct.
cannot compare that to an IT sector or something, but still it is in a growing stage, and there is always an increasing demand, because I would say any advancement in any technology will normally one or the other way involve
Leads.
material, be it
Yes.
an advancement in laptop or phone, that will typically involve advancement of a particular component that will
Correct.
require a material engineer or someone who has an understanding of material science. So in general, so that will make this a more not something which is going down. So there is always a scope somewhere in whatever area you like. So that's what I personally like about material science. So
Yeah.
people who are interested in physics will also have some part to it. Maths will also have some part to it. So people who are interested in core metallurgy or mechanical aspect will also have some areas which will make them feel interested or something. So it's a more of an interdisciplinary as I said previously.
Yes. Correct. So, then what would be your last advice for all the aspiring metallurgy and material science engineers out there, or any
Okay, you mean to
guidance?
say
Yeah.
people who are about to finish their undergrad or
No, no,
something?
no, no. Who are going to join or or studying through? Yeah. What would be a guidance or last advice for them?
So my guidance, the last advice would be to, as I said, have an open mind and go and explore things freely, not having too much things like what would happen in what to say, what would I do, or which career option to do. So if you go and explore things easily, that will eventually make you reach the decision making stage instead of worrying too much ahead. I have seen many people who are worrying from first year, what should I do? So that is not a required worry or something. You have
Correct.
plenty of these 4 years. Normally in any institute, you'll have a plenty of time. Even though second and third year will have some intense coursework, first and fourth year will be always free, and second and third also you will obviously have time to
Okay.
go and
Just
explore
need
your
to
liking.
manage.
So I would say to from the first year try to explore as much as fields as possible. So BTech is the time where you can explore. There is no better time than BTech, which can help you to explore whatever field. Be it even if you don't interest in metallurgy, you want to go to management or something. That's also a BTech is the
Option.
place where you can explore that area. So
Correct.
my personal thing would be to go, as I said, to go on and explore all the various possibilities which is at your disposal. So be it metallurgy or other domains which you want to try out. So you normally the 4 years are the only way or the better time to explore all of this. So that would be my only advice. Have free time, have a great time also enjoying, not only like too much into career options or career decisions. So there is also a lot more the VTech and other colleges offer. So first you get it all done, not like I'm focusing on one aspect too much and leaving out the other. Be it
Okay.
enjoying days or focusing on career. So that would be the only.
Advice. Then one other question, like what are the other, add-on skills that one should get? Like assume when mechanical people go for learning of AutoCAD or any of these software sites. So what are the kind of software that people can, students can enable themselves to ready for the upcoming market? Are there any?
Uh, yeah, coming to softwares, as I said, the computational aspect is also growing nowadays. Because conventionally, materials engineers are not expected to know computer science, are not
Correct.
expected to know. But nowadays, there are a lot of other aspects. Software, actually, there are various scales at which you can work. So if you
Mm-hmm.
look at bulk scale, there are software like there are techniques like finite element method, or where mechanical oriented softwares are used, the 3D CAD modeling or 3D printing. But there are also other techniques like at a lower length scale, be it
Mm-hmm.
electronic level length scale or a collection of your atoms or at that length scale. There are other softwares which you can. So uh, nowadays also there are a lot of resources to learn. Even in NPTEL you can find courses to learn these. So for any of these, there will be a better idea to know any of the programming languages.
Okay.
So in first year, second year, getting to know a programming language will always help you in a
Correct.
basic modeling or anything will involve some kind of program or at least require you to understand the few lines of code. So that will normally require you having some understanding. Yeah, coming to software, it normally depends on which area you go. Because personally, I'm
Correct.
not into the bulk landscape. So I personally don't know the softwares like Abacus or some softwares just normally being used for mechanical level uh,
Mm-hmm.
modeling. So it basically depends on which
Stream that
area
you're.
you have to work at, the
Yeah.
specific software names. But in general, it is not like conventional where metallurgy is hardcore lab or something. So nowadays there are a
Okay.
lot of go beyond laboratories where things are being done in computational side to speed up the process, being protection or discovery of new materials. So these are actually planned or aimed to complement these laboratory techniques. So at the end, one should also not forget that this is the base. So in
Agreed.
moving towards computation, people should not forget, okay, we should not have these basics. So at the end, these will only complement the real life things you have. So even if you are working on computation, you should have an idea how things will be in real life.
Totally agreed. So thanks a lot for sharing your insights and giving the guidance to all the aspiring metallurgy engineers. And congratulations and all the best for your journey at IISc. Looking forward for another session of IISc with you again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Yeah.
I'm happy to share the insights into, and I'm also first of all happy to know some initiatives like this. So which should help the upcoming students. Personally, I didn't
Yeah.
know much idea about various branches. So there are only knowledge about typical four famous branches: BD, EC, Triple E, Computer Science. So that's what people normally go for. So I think this will help people
Yep.
will learn or know about other domains. So
Yep.
thanks to you as well. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks a lot. And have a rest of good day. Yep. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.